The film begins by showing the abduction of a young girl, Lucy Jennings, by a man impersonating a police officer. Later, we see 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart with her best friend Amanda discussing Lucy's strange encounter. Back home, Elizabeth informs her mother, Melanie, of her safe arrival. The family spends a seemingly normal evening together, unaware of a man digging nearby. The following morning, Elizabeth's father, Don, leaves for a hunting trip. Melanie sends Elizabeth to the bus stop. In a rush, Elizabeth drops her mascara. She asks her mother if she can go to Amanda's house on Saturday, which Melanie agrees to, provided Amanda's mother also approves. Realizing she forgot her mascara, Elizabeth asks Melanie to return home, but her mother refuses, leading to an argument where Melanie angrily tells Elizabeth not to come home unless she changes her behavior. Hurt, Elizabeth agrees. In class, Elizabeth's boyfriend, Case, gives her a letter about their Saturday plans. After school, Case follows Elizabeth and Amanda. As they get off the bus, Case lights a cigarette and offers it to Elizabeth, who declines while Amanda accepts. Case gets picked up by a car and, fearing his parents, hides the drug in Elizabeth's bag, saying he'll get it on Saturday. He offers Elizabeth a ride, but she declines, preferring to walk home. Near her house, a man in glasses approaches Elizabeth, claiming to be a police officer and that he has her younger brother, Bobby. Despite her hesitation, Elizabeth goes to him. The man quickly handcuffs her, accusing her of having marijuana plants. He threatens her with a bomb around her neck, warning her not to run or touch it, and forces her to go with him to find Bobby. At home, Bobby tells Melanie that Elizabeth hasn't returned, and Melanie assumes she's just late. Later, Melanie calls Bobby again, and upon learning Elizabeth is still missing, tells him to search near the bus stop. Melanie tries to contact Amanda. In the woods, Elizabeth asks why they are going so far. The man confesses to kidnapping her and threatens to shoot her if she tries to escape. Terrified, Elizabeth realizes he's not a police officer. After walking a long way, the kidnapper orders her into an underground bunker. Inside, her fear intensifies and she begs for her life. As night falls, Melanie grows increasingly worried and searches for Elizabeth along the road. She meets Amanda and her mother, who advise her to call the police immediately. Melanie contacts the authorities. An hour later, Don returns home and is told Elizabeth hasn't come back. He tries to reassure Melanie that she will return soon. 2 police officers arrive and search the woods but find nothing in the dark. They question Melanie about her behavior and the events before Elizabeth's disappearance. Melanie mentions their earlier argument, leading the police to suspect Elizabeth ran away due to the fight and is likely at a friend's. Melanie insists Elizabeth wouldn't do that. The officers are skeptical and tell her to contact them if Elizabeth doesn't return in a few days. Meanwhile, underground, Elizabeth is assaulted by her abductor. She cries in terror. Annoyed, he threatens to kill her if she tries to escape, saying the hideout is trapped. Elizabeth learns her captor's name is Vincent while watching television. Vincent assures her no one is looking for her because her disappearance hasn't been reported. Back at her house, the same 2 officers return. Melanie reiterates that Elizabeth wouldn't just leave, as her valuable things are still in her room, and begs them to act. The officers report the case to Sheriff Thompson, who stresses the critical nature of the first 48 hours and criticizes their delayed response. On the 3rd day, as Elizabeth is repeatedly abused, she tries to calm her fear by remembering happy times with Case at school. They then hear Don and his friends searching, but they find no sign of the bunker. Vincent presses his gun against Elizabeth's head, telling her to be quiet. Elizabeth fights back tears, feeling close to her father but helpless. After several days, the media starts covering Elizabeth's disappearance. Elizabeth is overcome with emotion, especially when her mother expresses her love and hope for her return on television. By the 4th day, escape plans begin to form in her mind, but she knows she must be careful. To gain Vincent's trust, she talks to him, pretending to agree with him. During this conversation, Elizabeth learns Vincent built the hideout and abducted her for his wife, whom he called Peanut. Vincent claims Peanut betrayed him by reporting him for assault, leading to his isolation. His plans to reunite with Peanut were ruined by the police, and Elizabeth's abduction was a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. As the 4th day ends while Vincent sleeps, Elizabeth tries to reach his gun but is hindered by her cuffs. Vincent wakes up, and they hear helicopters searching. To avoid detection, Vincent uses aluminum foil to block infrared sensors. Elizabeth tries to get closer to him, hoping to gain his trust. Eventually, he falls for her deception and removes her neck cuffs, allowing her closer and even letting her handle his unusual-looking gun. Vincent is surprised by Elizabeth's quick understanding of the firearm. Later that night, Vincent handcuffs her again and takes her to get food from an old car. They then fill jerry cans with water from the river. Suddenly, Vincent hears a helicopter and quickly takes Elizabeth back to the bunker. In their escape, Elizabeth intentionally leaves one of her shoes behind, hoping someone will find it. On the seventh day, while Vincent sleeps, Elizabeth tries to text her mother using Vincent's phone, but there's no signal underground. She goes to the bunker entrance, and this time the message sends. She quickly deletes it from Vincent's phone. While Vincent is still asleep, Elizabeth tries to grab his gun to shoot him, but when she pulls the trigger, no bullets come out, increasing her panic. Meanwhile, Sheriff Thompson tells Elizabeth's parents that the search will soon be called off as they believe she may have left the area. They have searched nearly 20 square miles over the week without any leads. On the 8th day, Melline is shocked to receive Elizabeth's text message in the morning, confirming she's alive. Dawn advises Melline not to call the number immediately, but to contact the police first. However, the two officers suspect it's a prank and allow Melline to make the call. Fortunately, their leader arrives just in time, preventing Melline from calling, as it could endanger Elizabeth. On the 9th day, law enforcement identifies the phone's owner through the provider, Catherine Heaths, who registered it about 3 weeks prior. The police go to her house. One officer remembers being there for a sexual harassment case involving Catherine's boyfriend, Vincent Phillip, a year earlier. They interrogate Catherine, who claims she hasn't seen Vincent in over a year. They then discover underground chambers inside and outside her home, leading them to believe their suspect is a skilled digger, explaining why they haven't found him. The police are suspicious of Catherine's claim about not seeing Vincent. Thompson reveals that Elizabeth's mother received a text from a phone registered to Catherine and asks how Vincent got a phone bought only 3 weeks ago. He warns Catherine that if Vincent harms Elizabeth and she has lied, she could be charged as an accomplice. Catherine finally reveals the location where she leaves food for Vincent. Thompson instructs his team to return to the nearby woods, as Vincent must be within walking distance to get the food. He also plans to use the media to publicize Vincent's identity to draw him out, a risky strategy, but the sheriff believes Vincent is a coward who will likely flee, as he has before. Meanwhile, Vincent grows anxious seeing his name on the news and suspects Elizabeth. He checks his phone but finds no messages. Elizabeth tries to convince Vincent of her love and desire to stay with him, regardless of the situation. She warns him that if the police find them together, he will go to prison. Elizabeth insists he must leave immediately, promising to follow him anywhere. At this moment, Elizabeth realizes that Peanut, whom Vincent mentioned, is actually Lucy Jennings, her classmate from the beginning of the film. Additionally, the woman delivering the food is Catherine, Vincent's girlfriend and Lucy's mother. Vincent has been in love with Catherine's daughter for a long time and wants to marry her. After revealing his feelings, he agrees with Elizabeth's suggestion to leave. He prepares to depart, leaving her in the bunker with a promise to return. She vows to wait for him to come back and marry her when it's safe. That on the 10th day after Vincent leaves, Elizabeth gathers the courage to emerge from the bunker, having been tricked into believing there were many hidden traps and explosives outside. She hopes someone will hear her cries for help. Fortunately, Sheriff Thompson and his team are nearby and hear her. The sheriff rushes to her aid. Elizabeth is taken to the hospital by the police. Soon after, Dawn, Melline, and Bobby arrive and are joyfully reunited with Elizabeth. The film concludes by revealing that Vincent Phillip was convicted of multiple offenses and sentenced to 421 years in prison.